Hello everyone and welcome to week 2. You've done a great job so far on the first week. I hope that these videos that you listen to each week accomplish two things. I'll give you a summary of the previous week's work and give some pointers if need be, and then use the time to help you understand what is needed for the current week. If you have questions, you may email me directly or set up a time to call, or even use Skype if need be. You can also use the FAQ section on discussion board, but remember, don't post any personal information on the FAQ to leave the personal information to an email. I'm actually completing this a little bit earlier. This weekend is pretty packed up, so I'm completing this Friday morning. So as of this moment, we have 6 out of 15 that are finished with this week's discussion, and all but 2 have posted their initial information. So a great job. Many of you took heed of having the primary information on that discussion board posted by Thursday, and that way it gives all of the members of the class time to come in and give some feedback on your comments and ideas. So great job on that. Let's see here. I need to use my pointer to make sure. We also have 7 with at least 2 out of 3 completed, so good job there. I know that some have work during the week, and so at times it's tough to get everything done during the week, and I can understand that. But please try to take at least an hour out of each day and get started on the chapter reading. Try to make sure that by Thursday morning you do have your start of your post done, because what I will typically do is during the last part of the week, as I see discussion boards being posted, I will get on there, and if you're needing a few extra things in order to get all of your points for those posts, then I will try to add those comments. I won't actually put them on discussion board, but I'll grade part of your discussion board post, and then I'll leave some comments in that discussion board grade. So it gives you a chance to look back at your grade and see what you might need to add. And if you wait until Sunday night, which unfortunately I know many will try to do, I will not have that opportunity to give you pointers, to give you ways to make sure you're getting all of your points on those. So please make sure and take advantage of getting some of those done early. Let's see here. Make sure and try to reply to your peers' posts. It gets you, I know this week it was not exactly a priority or a way to get points, but as the discussion board points go, you will be required to post a certain amount. Make sure and look at that rubric that I've posted about points for discussion board. That will be what I'll be using this year to help me be a little more fair with discussion boards and make sure that you're getting what you need out of them. The next thing I want to talk about is the observation reports. Many of you are already turning in items. I've already got, I think there's only like 5 or 6 of you that haven't submitted your placement request. So if you haven't done so, please do so. That helps, especially if you're trying to get in the area of Warrensburg. It helps us give you some pointers. Dr. Ryder may be able to help you a little bit on that. But more than that, it lets us know that you're getting that part done, because as I've said before, many schools in the summer are only about the first month. So you're looking at the month of June is really your time and opportunity to get those observations done. And I know with some of you working, that's going to be a little bit of concern getting everything done and being able to work and working around that observation. So getting that done, some schools are even only Monday through Thursday. Some schools will stop at noon. So it's really important right now that you get the understanding to go into that school. If you're outside of Warrensburg and you're having to do it on your own, find the local school district. Go into the schools that you'd like to observe. Bring the piece of paper that I've put in for you that tells them what you need to do. And then if they need to ask some more questions, they can email me or give me a call, and I will try to work them through that. But it's very important that you get that done now. If you are getting done with that, go ahead after week 2. I think it's right after week 12's discussion board. There is a discussion board post that just is basically for you to tell me where you're observing, what school, what grade level, things like that. So go there. That's actually an easy 10 points, but it does help me make sure that everybody is on track for that. So let's get back to the rubric. I'd highly recommend also listening to the audios for the report and also the structured observation. And make sure you cover all the points on the rubric. Cover page. That's basically the page that you all will be looking at whenever you go to the document. And make sure that all the signed permission forms are done for all sites. And all this needs to be included in that observation report. Some of you that may be technically challenged, get some help. Email me, give me a call. I'll Skype with me or do whatever. I will help you understand. You can take a picture with your camera. Many of you have smartphones now, so you can take a picture with your camera of those documents and then upload them into your document as a picture. When I'm talking about the describing the setting, give me a picture. Many people have used other forms of documentation. Some of them have drawn the picture out on a piece of paper. Some of them have used another program that lets you put in squares and rectangles and makes it look more like a classroom. That helps me see what your classroom is. Let me know where your student was in that classroom. So describe the setting. How was the classroom structured? What strategies did the teachers utilize? Remember, this is one of the primary things of this observation, is see what the teachers are doing out there. It gives you a more applicable view of what you're learning in the classroom compared to what the teachers are doing. So make sure and document what the strategies the teachers are using. And then also, what strategies or teaching techniques did you observe that you would implement in your own classroom? Make sure that it's not hidden in there. I would just, perfect example is just make a new paragraph of the observations or of the strategies that I viewed. These are the ones that I would like to implement in my classroom, and tell me why for that there. Why did they appeal to you? Were there any classroom management issues? Make sure that that is covered. Again, what I would do, just as a helpful to you and to me, you for points and me for ease of making sure I'm fair with the points, is I would start a new paragraph after each one of these questions and make sure that you tell me what it is you're trying to tell me in that paragraph so that I know. How did the teachers handle those issues that you observed in the classroom? And then your structured observation. Make sure that it's calculated, attached, and then the 6 hours fulfilled and the documents on the observation worksheets. Those observation worksheets that are in Blackboard for you to print off, I would have for each day that you go observe. And I would make sure that you utilize them while you're in the classroom for your notes, and then make sure and turn them in with this report. That gives you, there's 45 points right there in your structured observation material and your documents. With the structured observation, make sure and don't forget to put it in your report. Tell me, give me a paragraph of how the percentages came out. What did you observe? What did you think of that structured observation? And then lastly on there, there's 30 points. This is a primary one for the whole report. What did you notice that you feel you need to learn more about before teaching as it relates to the special education students? Many of you are general education teachers that may have had thoughts that you wouldn't have special education students in your class. Well, you're wrong. You will have multiple chances to have students with special needs in your classroom. More and more schools are making sure that all students with special needs are integrated into the regular classroom. So give me your thoughts. What do you think right now after that observation in the general education classroom? What do you think you need to know more about? And then as you go to the special education classroom, make sure you include that same paragraph underneath so that I know what your thoughts were after your observation for that. And this may be one that you want to think about before you get too long down the road and write it down. on that piece of paper on something, so that when you get to writing your paper later on, because some of you will probably do your report, your observations, and then wait until July to finish up your report. So make sure and put your thoughts at the end of each observation, what you think you might need to know more about. Remember, it is relating to special education. So, and again, the primary thing is, if you have any questions at all about your report, get them done now. I've had a couple people did their report and thought they had everything figured out, or many times they actually didn't view the audio that I've given you for the rubric and the audio for the structured observation. And it came to July after the schools were out and they couldn't do any more observations, and they had questions and they didn't have some information that was going to be detrimental to their paper, to the report. So make sure, ask me, email me, and I will even give you a call if you want me to talk about your observation and your report before you get there. Okay, another thing I'll try to do is give different technology items that I've seen as a teacher that might be helpful. I know it's not a technology class, but many of you are going to be using iPads, are going to be seeing students utilize iPads and technology in your classroom. So one that I use is it's actually an extended app that actually works with Windows, with Apple, and it works in the background. It's called Grammarly. It's a free add-on to most of the browsers that we utilize every day, and it just sits in the background, and then it will check your spelling and it will check some of your grammar. Now, there is a paid version, but as far as I know, many of the people that I have talked to that use the paid version are those that are getting ready to do their doctorate or doing something that's going to be written intensive, and they want that little extra added help. I have never had to utilize anything that I thought about paying for it, because it is pretty expensive for a year. Comparatively speaking, I guess not too, but for me, it's more than I want to pay for what I'm using it for. But I use it all the time to kind of make sure that I'm utilizing good grammar for you as a student. I can use it on Blackboard. Now, Blackboard does have some problems at times, so I kind of have to watch that. But Grammarly is the add-on. It works on Blackboard, Google, email, a lot of different things. And then the other thing I want to tell you is make sure that on any papers that you submit to me, save as you do on Word, and then save as your first and last initial and the name of the assignment, observation report, philosophy paper. Because what I will do is I utilize an app called Notability. I've actually found that it actually helps the students also. What it is it's an app. It is a paid app. It's about $3 to $7 depending on if they're running a sale on it or not. And it lets you download onto your iPad any Word document, PDF document, PowerPoint, many documents that I've been able to get to. It lets you download it onto there, and that's why I need it as a Word document. And then what it lets you do is it lets you highlight, it lets you write, it lets you use a text box on the item. Many things that you could do as a pencil and paper for these students. A lot of students that I work with that have visual impairments that need it enlarged, they can enlarge on Notability. Many times what they'll do is they will download my PowerPoint of my lesson onto Notability, and then they will do their writing on it. So again, another app, another technology item, but that also is what I'll be grading your papers on. So make sure and save it as that, because when I download it into my Notability, if you all have the same name, observation report, then I have to go and take some extra time to see whose observation report that is. So put your first and last name. I'd make sure that in your report on the top you put your name and full name on there. That helps me also. So just some general pointers for you. Let's go on to week 2 now. And this may be a little longer video, but again, I wanted to go over those observation reports a little bit more since students are starting to get out there and getting those observations done. In week 2, you'll be reading about actually 2 different chapters. Again, we're taking a 15 to 16 week course and putting it into 12, and I have to cover everything that they would in the typical course. So I will, these next couple weeks, I have had 2 chapters a week. And then after that, it will go down to 1 for a while. So bear with us these first 2 weeks. Make sure you're organized. Make sure you get things going. We'll be going over Chapter 2 and Chapter 12, planning and providing special education services and low incidence disabilities. You'll only have your discussions and quizzes for the 2 chapters. And then make sure and post your observation site later on as you get through. You'll find 2 folders. You will find Chapter 2, and read the chapter, download and view the PowerPoint, look over some documents. I've included some documents in there, some IEP documents that you will need to look at before you do your discussion board post. I've also put 2 short videos in there. Students in the past have said these videos help them understand a little bit more about special education and what they need to do. They're 2 short videos on the teacher feature. Go ahead and watch those. They should give you more understanding of the planning involved. Yes, there is paperwork in teaching. And I don't know that there's really more paperwork in special education, but it's more data collection in special education maybe than what a regular education teacher might do. Complete the discussion board, study for the quiz, take the quiz. Make sure you look over those documents, and then once you get done with that, go and move to Chapter 12. In Chapter 12, you'll see the PowerPoint and quiz are the only items in there. Let me double check here my notes. Yes. And I've added some supplemental materials that are specific to working with students in Missouri to whom general education curriculum is not functional. These materials I've provided to special ed majors getting ready to teach with the ECSE or the SDD students. The Common Core standards are not what are generally used for IEPs with these lower functioning students, and there is not much assistance provided for by Pearson to prepare for those MO, PTA. So read Chapter 12, view the PowerPoints, and study and take the quiz, and then look over that document. Then go back to the discussion board and see if you have any posts. Again, try to get many of those posts done by Thursday. Now, I realize with a 2-chapter deal, you may get to Chapter 2 discussion post, but at least try to post that 12 by Saturday morning, and that way it gives the rest of the students a chance to get their discussion board points in and get that done. I would suggest try to stay on track. Week 3 also is a 2-chapter week, so don't get behind. I can't say strongly enough the importance of getting those observations set up. Many of you sent in the requests, so if you haven't heard from Dr. Ryder, if he is the one that's helping you get that, get with him by the end of probably by the beginning of week 2, and maybe by Wednesday. If you haven't, definitely get with him and see if he's able to get you any assistance. If not, or if you're doing it on your own and need some assistance, email me. It's very important that we get these observations set up and scheduled so that you can work through your schedule in the end of May and June to make sure you get your hours in and not be stressed out over these hours. Because I literally cannot give you a passing grade. You can get everything done, but if you don't do the observation and the observation report as required, I cannot pass you into class. So it's very, very important to get those scheduled. Let's see here. Remember to email me if you have any questions. I'm on most days. Sorry about Wednesday. Of those of you that emailed me and I didn't get back to you till Thursday, I had a meeting here on campus, so I was pretty much all day long in that meeting. So it was Wednesday night and Thursday morning before I was able to get those answered. But generally, in the morning, in the evening, I try to get on and answer any questions, any pertinent questions I may have. Please keep those that are posted general, not personal. But again, I want to tell you, keep up the great work. I've been very impressed with the organization that you students have shown already. Many of you are ahead of schedule as far as getting things done. So keep it going. Keep working. If you have questions, get with me. Have a great week, and I will do another video in a week. Thank you very much. Bye.